Today is Monday, September 9, 2024, and the program is Inside Nigeria, your breakfast show on leadership television. My name is Fred Weber. I sure hope you had a beautiful weekend. On this segment of the show, we review front headline stories of some select national newspapers, including Nigeria's most influential leadership. Leadership's main leading story today says poverty ignorance boosting organ trafficking in Nigeria. Poverty ignorance boosting organ trafficking in Nigeria. And of course, we have illustrations beneath that leading story. We have 651 kidneys were illegally transplanted from Nigeria between 2015 and 2020. 129,681 organs were transplanted globally in 2020 alone. $1.7 billion organ trade generates $840 million. I'll take that again. Organ trade generates $840 million and $1.7 billion globally. In Nigeria, young girls sell their eggs for as little as 50,000 naira. Kidney payments range from a few $100s in developing countries to $20,000 and $30,000 in developed nations. These are the illustrations beneath that leading story on today's leadership newspaper: poverty, ignorance boosting organ trafficking in Nigeria. Beside that, we have Article warns against VAT increase. This is coming on the developing story of federal government's intention to increase VAT from 7.5% to 10%. And the former president of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar, warns against this increase. Sunset's mother ablaze in Delta. The story is on page 20 of Leadership. NAFDAC investigates Pastor Jeremiah's miracle water soap. Entertainment can solve Nigeria's security challenges in that Isaiah. And that takes us gradually to the stories beneath the masthead. Sambo Dambazu, others join Northern Democrats. And on the business bourse, Naira devaluation, subsidy removal cripple manufacturers. Above the masthead of Leadership, tanker explosion kills 48 persons, 50 cows in Niger. Pump price probe NNPCL now. Serap tells Tinubu. The story runs on page 21 of Leadership. Pump price probe NNPCL now. Serap tells Tinubu. With that, we move to the page 3 of Leadership, where we have our stand. Our stand today is on NAS must not repeal FGM and BAP Act of 2015. NAS must not repeal FGM. FGM stands for Female Genital Mutilation and Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act of 2015. And that is our stand on Leadership table today. From that, we move to the back page, where we have, as usual, Mode column with Dakuku side. Today is writing on Nigeria's public policy gambles. Nigeria's public policy gambles. In quote, the issue is not necessarily the nobility of these policies' intentions. After all, the road to hell is often paved with good intentions. End quote. From that column, Nigeria's public policy gambles. With that, we conclude today's review of Leadership newspaper. For more, log on to www.leadership.ng. From Leadership, we move over to Blueprint. Blueprint says Black Sunday, 51 killed in Niger, Lagos tanker Ifenu, 48 get mass burial. Black Sunday, 51 killed in Niger, Lagos tanker Ifenu, 48 get mass burial. Over 50 cows perish. Bago expresses shock, directs INSEMA's immediate intervention. May the souls of the departed rest in peace. From that troubling story, we move to other stories on the cover of Blueprint newspaper. Underneath that, Europe-bound woman conceals cocaine, opioid, and sanitary pads. Europe-bound woman conceals cocaine, opioid, and sanitary pads. NDLEA destroys 100,000 kilograms of cannabis in Ekiti. arrest 3 others in Kaduna, Jigawa. Beneath that, traditional rulers storm Badagry market to force down prices. Obaseki's wife replies, Oshomole, I'm not barren. The story runs on page 6 of Blueprint. This is also a developing story from a report earlier on that Oshomole, former governor of Edo State and present senator in Nigeria Senate, called Obaseki and his wife barren. And the wife, Obaseki's wife, the governor's wife, replies, I'm not barren. First Bank of Nigeria Holdings says 100% stake in FBN Quest Merchant Bank. The story is on page 23 of Blueprint. Reports of soldiers' mass resignation over corruption, low morale, fake. That is a response to the alleged report carried that there have been mass resignation of soldiers from the military. The army is in response says reports of soldiers' mass resignation over corruption, low morale, fake. NAFDAC probes Pastor Jeremiah's miracle water soap. And just beneath the Blueprint masthead, Blueprint staff member John Oba laid to rest in Erusu, Akoko. May the soul of our departed colleague rest in peace. John Oba was also a former colleague in leadership media group. Legacy promo: UBA rewards 30 lucky customers in August draw. Sports: AFCON, upbeat Super Eagles land in Rwanda. And of course, that takes us to the story about the masthead, which is the last to be on the cover. Toju reduces levy on Zamfara community from 50 million naira to 30 million naira. And that is on the story on banditry. Toji reduces levy on Zamfara community from 50 million naira to 30 million naira. Also last week, the Northern Elders called on federal government not to negotiate with Toji. And in today's story, they said Toji, the bandits leader, reduces levy on Zamfara community from 50 million naira to 30 million naira. That concludes review of front headline stories today on Blueprint. For more, log on to www.blueprint.ng. It's the same tale of woes on the cover of Daily Sun today. Sorrow tears as petrol tanker wreaks havoc. Over 30 persons, 50 cows burned to death in Niger. 3 die, many injured in Lagos accidents. I'll take that again. Sorrow tears as petrol tanker wreaks havoc. Over 30 persons, 50 cows burnt to death in Niger. 3 die, many injured in Lagos accidents. Beneath that main headline story on Daily Sun, we have Dangote's petrol pricing sparks confusion, pushback. Stakeholders seek transparency. Reconsider fuel price hike, rigid economic team, media group. Hike in food, fuel, electricity prices unbearable, APC chieftain tells Tinubu. Serap gives federal government 48 hours to reverse unlawful petrol price hike. VAT increase with deepening economic woes. Article warns federal government. Urges diaspora Nigerians not to give up on nation. PDP dead, says Kwankwaso. Boasts he will win 2027 presidential election. You are inconsequential, party replies. Clark Obi Ozekome push for Iwanyawo's immortalization. States 139.92 billion naira spent on external debt servicing in first quarter raises fiscal sustainability concerns. The story is on page 25 of Daily Sun. That takes us to the last story on the cover of Daily Sun. Can C&S urge federal government to address issues raised by youths during protests? Say millions of families living in abject poverty. That concludes review of Daily Sun's front headline stories. For more, log on to www.sunnynewsonline.com. From Daily Sun, we move over to the next paper on our menu, and that is The Guardian. The Guardian says, back to school, parents groan as fees fares spike by over 70% amid dropout concerns. The illustration: you have to endure this term. Inflation is forcing us to cut back on expenses. You can see a father telling his son with inflation bag on his shoulder. And the son replies, does cutting back include spending less time in school? What a question. That illustration is father's main story. Back to school, parents groan as fees fares spiked by over 70% amid dropout concerns. Atiku Huriwa flay Tinubu's plan to raise that VAT, one of devastating consequences. Ajayi Edema tried Ayedatiwa over appointment of 344 SAs amid economic hardship. Reverse petrol pump price, Serap APC chief tell Tinubu. Tanker explosion claims 48 lives, 50 cattle in Niger. POS operators insist on court ruling amid CAC threats. Nigerians not enjoying benefits of more allocations to states. NAFDAC warns against miracle products of faith-based organizations. NLC vows to tackle grabbed fiscal indiscipline by politicians. Front headline stories today on The Guardian. For more, log on to the website www.guardian.ng. From The Guardian, we move over to the last paper on our menu today, and that is our sister publication, National Economy. National Economy is a weekly business paper on the stable of leadership. This week's main headline story says toxic waste from used mobile phones orders. Nigerians risk brain damage, other health hazards. As International Telecommunications Union ranks country third in electronic waste in Africa. Toxic waste from used mobile phones orders. Nigerians risk brain damage, other health hazards. As International Telecommunications Union (ITU) ranks country third in electronic waste in Africa. Name-same linkage, a strategic approach to tackling fraud insecurity. And above the masthead of national economy, federal government China formalized Belt Road Nuclear Corporation. Nigeria ranks third in World Bank's IDA debt. The story is on page 5 of National Economy. With that, we conclude today's front headline story review on national economy. For more, log on to www.nationaleconomy.com. On the national economy, also, we conclude the first half of today's program, Inside Nigeria. Don't go away. Second half is, by the way, where we have our guest already to throw more light on some trending issues. Stay tuned. The program is Inside Nigeria, your breakfast show on Leadership Television. My name is Winifred once again, and of course, I have my Monday guest in the house. He's a political economist, public affairs analyst, Ali Elias. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to have you on the program. Yes, a lot has happened over the weekend. I've missed the trending stories. Well, so when the story first broke, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? I was like, no, this can't be. I'm talking about the resignation of our own Ngilari.
Right.
And shortly after, we're also seeing other reports that actually he was made to resign. Because that was exactly what came to my mind initially when I saw his resignation letter. I was like, does anybody ever resign to Nigeria? Except the former Minister of State for Health, who is now the Minister of Health, Dr. Ali Mohammed Kati. He resigned then as a Minister of State.
Right, I think England have record of his resignation.
Okay.
You recall he was working for China at the time.
Yes.
He was
They
working
said it
for
was in
AIT.
AIT.
So look at that trajectory. So he has been resigning.
And
He
you
has
also worked at SSA in former
Buhari.
yes, Sibanjo's office.
Right, so he has that trajectory of or record of his resignation. However, there are two theories on ground now. One, he actually said one by himself that is a personal family work.
That's interesting.
So I was chatting with my wife, and we are now saying, is it the one that is sick? Is it the children or the wife? Because we need to establish that. Because if it's one of his work or the wife, he also need money to take care of them.
Yes.
So I now assume maybe he's the one that is
but
actually sick. But the second theory is that maybe a longer head with other age.
Exactly, that's what
and why guys say so is that recall that it's like a new entrant. The man handling the media for president, what is his name? Ononoga has been with President Tinubu for long. So he's like a new person. Now you recall that they used to have longer hair. No, but if you resign because of the constitutionality of the job, that shows its integrity, and that now add to the record of his resignation because he has reason for resigning in other places.
Yes, to watchers of the industry, his purported resignation is not surprising anyway, given the fact that it was bound to happen, given the collision course him and Bayo Olaniga were on. Recall during the first year anniversary of this administration, Bayo Olaniga posted on his X handle, formerly known as Twitter, that the president was going to brief the joint house of the National Assembly. However, shortly after, Ngelare came out to refute it, and I even said, as far as saying that, went as far as saying that the general public should disregard that purported press release from that any quarter, and that the president was not going to do anything of the sort. However, the president did exactly what Bayo Olaniga said.
Right.
He addressed.
So the fact remains that administrative, he is not clear to the president.
It's Bayo, of course.
It's Bayo. So no,
not administratively. No, sorry.
Thank you.
But personally,
is Olaniga. Administratively is Ngelare. So that statement that comes from Bayo should have come from Ngelare. Then Bayo take it from.
But however, he said the president was not going. In other words, he's not privy to his principal's itinerary.
You even be privy, but not giving go ahead. You know, the fact is that you have to look at a particular middle person here, which is the Badabi Amila. Badabi Amila, if he wants Onanuga to do something, he will push it to him. He wants Ngelale to do something. But we must salute Ngelale. Honestly, he's doing his work with all sense of professionalism that we have seen. So if they say because he's doing it as it's supposed to be the problem, well, let's see what comes out. But Nigeria is always very good in creating solutions immediately. So that he resigned now, they have mentioned two persons that likely to fulfill that happen. So we are looking at how it will go. But there are also external factors. They are not internal people that have a problem. So they may also experience what Ngelale
experienced. So if you are not from the many people say from that zone, from that axis too. However, we are moving on to some of the other trending stories. We are starting off with the leadership main headline story. We've seen today that the issue of organ trafficking is no longer in Nigeria. For some flimsy excuses, we see some organs of some Nigerians being harvested. As a matter of fact, is former Senate Vice Deputy President agreement is this 7J10 for that
right.
In that, how be it, we have seen in situations, especially in the northern part of the country, we have seen children organs being harvested. They go to hospitals, they discover, and there was this issue too in Jos, whereby a woman went to the hospital for treatment, and it was discovered that one of her organs, kidney, was actually missing, and it could actually trace it to Jos doctor where she went for treatment years back. However, we've not seen the feedback.
That's the problem of Nigeria. Anytime,
it just occurred to me that we have not even seen, because they said that
any issue that goes into committee, review, having this panel always come out In fact, we won't even hear anything about it. But in terms of organ issue, what is the precursor for organ harvest? That's the first question that you look at. Poverty, ignorance. These two things are a problem. Because a very sane person who can feed his or herself and the family, you cannot even tell him like that. So then now people are submitting themselves. Remember the issue of this Jankara market, that most of them are selling. But you think your friend is doing way more than you, and you didn't know that. So they now say they used to go to India to buy. So when they go to India, I'm sorry I'm mentioning this country, they will go to a particular country, and when they go to that particular country, before they know, they come out with big money. But later, discover that most of them after 6 months, 1 year, they fall sick. They do their finds and they discover that these are the problems. So I think in this case, the people are submitting themselves. That's the apology. How can you be submitting yourself for organ? And they will say, "What? We don't have anything to survive with." So I think the government need to do more now, because Ali Pati is Minister of Health and Social Welfare. So if you look at it very well, it's now domiciled more. You need to work with security agencies to make sure that they tame these people that are doing this. Because when you look at the statistics from leadership, you see that Nigeria 651 kidney.
Yes.
In
5 years.
In 5 years. And how many globally? You see that we are like the major business people in terms of organ harvest. So I think the Nigeria government needs to do, and Nigeria should also have a diplomatic agreement with those countries that are used to have them. Because let me give you an example. I went to get a visa for a particular country. So when I go to the visa place, honestly, I'm very well prepared. And at the end of the day, when I got to the person and he looked at me very well, and said, "Sorry, we don't give visa for what you want to do." And I want to go and learn technology just for 3 months. I showed him that. See the invitation, see everything that I got. I have to call the guy who invited me. He's a meeting of my team to that country. He said, that's why. So I now make findings and discover that it's because I'm going to learn. I'm not going to actually for medical. So they just expect everybody that is going there to go for medical so that they can get much more into the economy. I was surprised. It was quite appalling. And then that's when I was at diplomatic area. So it's something that is very big issue. So I think government needs to do more. If not, Nigeria will do more, and most people will fall into this temptation. When they say 10 million, you're not thinking life itself without survivor. And 10 million have survivor. People want to go for more.
Just like what you stated, there are also countries too that are perpetrating the human rights abuses against some of these citizens, especially prisoners that they have there. They harvest these prisoners' organs just to traffic. And make,
I pray Nigeria will not get to that level because we find it difficult to really trace this kind of thing.
Now moving forward, leadership and even other people has it that NAFDAC investigates pastor for miracle water and miracle soap.
Right.
It's a story that is on other papers.
You recall that a celebrity,
a Daily Sun, we have it in Blueprint.
A celebrity actually took some people took a particular water to. He took a particular water to Karamatiji where we have people with disability, and told them that if you can use this water and you are healed, I also give you 200,000. And they started applying it. It was a very trending issue, and I think between a very dark man and one particular pastor. What am I saying in essence is that the level of deception in Nigeria under gospel is quite alarming. That must be traced. I recall there was time every pastor and the man must register under Cardinal State government, so that we can government, so that we can really know who is who, what training do you have. So because we have all manners of the men of God around Nigeria, that's what we can see. How can you say, even Jesus is not even proud of those things? It was just like God actually agree with him to do that. So I think we need to change this. I don't know how we're going to do that kind of, but we have been overwhelmed with churches and mosques. So I don't know how we're going to bring about that law. Law is it not karma? I'm not sure karma is even functional because they say you cannot own church yourself. It must be BOT and it must not be your family. But if you look at most churches, they are much more family business. So I think we should differentiate business from gospel. issues. I think that is very, very. Our police should be the leading organization to fight that out.
Thank you so much. Now, still on the issue of insecurity, we are seeing today one of the headline stories on the cover of Blueprint that told you reduces levy on Zamfara community from 50 million naira to 30 million naira. And just last week, the Northern Elders actually called on federal government not to negotiate with authority to declare him wanted and get him arrested. But this same person is still in charge of some communities in Zamfara, even as much as levying them. Is the federal government, are they not seeing him? Is he operating a vacuum?
You know, there was a time that governors would go and snap with
he was even giving chieftaincy title, but the government,
right.
state government denied
So
him.
I think a lot of things is behind them, because for him to survive up to this level, something is actually. So I think government should be much more responsible to their activities and do something. Because this person is also showing a signal to others that they can do this and so on. That is just what is doing. And for this person to be this strong like this, we cannot meet out there is no government kind of support. When we say government, we are not saying federal government, we are not even saying state government. There could be a government official. Remember, even Jonathan said that in my administration,
yes,
there are people who have Boko Haram. So I think government should do something meaningful urgently to call this how do I call it? Bad optics.
Aliu, the strange part or the strangest of this issue, insecurity is that the fact that during a full animal, people felt that Buhari was enabling them. However, we have a southern as president now, and it's still the same issue. If anything, that's even gone worse.
Well, I think Buhari ought to have done some things. Somebody was discussing about police and government. I was not telling the person that now, everybody have bad and good parts. Must have cleared some road that Ododo is now riding up on. So we expect our president, like President Bola, to have known a lot of things. But President Buhari said they should open they should be grazing along the. That's the contradiction. So
grazing area.
Exactly.
Search for the grazing area.
Allow them to at this century, at this 21st century. So the same thing happens here. We expect Buhari to have tamed the bandits, the Boko Haram, the IPOB, a lot of them. So that Bola will start right now, but it's still at the same level. But he needs to do more, and the only way we can survive this is intelligence. We need more intel. When we are much younger, we saw those police, how they can really do CID, and the level, what is the status of DSS? They are supposed to, SSS are supposed to do more in terms of finding
intelligence gathering.
Because those people have, you cannot say you cannot.
Exactly, because you cannot say that in this 20th century, just like you rightly pointed out, cows will still be grazing around. Right. It's like all other climes, even in African countries, they don't allow them to graze around. Look at the Tanka
explosion. He was going to deal with them. I still see them around.
Exactly. Most times we have to wait for them to.
You have to wait for
gracefully pass the road before you can. See what happened yesterday. 51 killed in Niger, Lagos Tanka inferno. 48 get mass burial, while over 50 cows perished. Still issue of cows.
Issue of cows at this level, And apart from that, I think we also have infrastructural problems in terms of road. Because if you look at what's actually brought about that, the acquisition of bad food, so it's a serious issue.
It is. Moving on back to school, students actually resumed session today, and that's the main headline story. Today on The Guardian, back to school, parents groan as fees fares spiked by over 70% amid dropout concerns.
Quite
parents
it was this
but
morning,
this issue of
as we are coming out, myself and my wife, we're looking at this school is closed.
You too?
Yes, we are the person to consider. You know why? Before this resumption, the school had sent us school fee.
And they have increased
a new
session.
They have increased it. But by the time they
they have increased it already.
But they have increased it already. So by the time the fuel moved from PMS from 617 for anything to 895.
Oh, you've not started buying. You've been already buying.
It's not buying. It's not buying. I said by the time it started, the school now sent another bill. That please disregard the earlier one though. Because of what happened now, it's about another 20% increase. And do you want to blame them? They also have to incur some cost. And these are the problem of school now. Everybody is looking for how they can actually. So I think they are even telling Nigerians indirectly have only one or two. Because if you know you cannot bear because you have to be your strategy.
So even you alone, as a person, what about a person that is living alone or still single? That means you still have to take care of yourself, which is even difficult.
Much more difficult. So that's the problem. So I think if care is not taken, well, I don't want to be prophet of doom, but the way everything is getting expensive and every day without government intervention, we want to. Anyway, we hope for the best in Nigeria.
We just will certainly hope for the best. That is just what we need now. Our hope to sustain us. Now, lastly, we are looking at our sister publication, National Economy. And today's main headline story says toxic waste from used mobile phones orders. Nigerians risk brain damage, other health hazards.
Right.
As ITU ranks country third in electronic waste in Africa.
Right. It is quite clear that every household, except you are stinkingly rich, that you don't have Tokumbo. If you don't have Tokumbo car, you have Tokumbo phone. If you have Tokumbo phone, you have Tokumbo wears, you have Tokumbo shoe, electronics. So, but
there's actually a market for electronics.
Special markets everywhere now. In fact, I can mention the Lawrence. Come to Lawrence. Let's look at it from mega and mega level. So the thing is, and it's a big market. People patronize every day. This is sign of poverty. The sign of poverty. In this climate, how can people say I prefer to buy because they cannot afford it.
And even the Tokumbo are so expensive. I remember a colleague telling me that I wanted to buy 2 horsepower of AC and the amount is over 200. Then I don't even know.
That is very
that.
Let me give you an example. A particular product. If you want to buy new, it's 2,150,000. If you now want to buy the Tokumbo, it's about 1.2 million. I think it's 2 horsepower. What they call it? The one that used to stand. They have they call it. So and that is the problem. So and even our phone, people can afford especially that want to use big phones. You want to use big phone, you have to go and buy for Tokumbo. It's a sign of poverty. But Nigeria must have a standard. Let me give you a good example. South Africa is only using about 6 grams of car, and you must come there to assemble it, and it must be that's what definitely need. Until we start having such policy that we are allowing this our neighbor, this dumping ground. I've been to yes. To go there is like a dumping ground, so it's sneak into Nigeria because most Nigerian ports you can't bring such things, but you have to find your way through those ones. So it's Nigeria needs to bring a regulation that will stop people from bringing such items to Nigeria.
All right, thank you so much. Well, viewers, is on that note we conclude today's Inside Nigeria. I've had the pleasure of having a company today. My Monday guest, he is a political economist. He actually has PhD and a public affairs analyst. Thank you so much once again. And I look forward to having you same day next week on this program. Well, viewers, my name is Winnie Kwejabo. Don't forget to join us for News on the Hour on this station. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last word